Canada is not backing down from this fight. Foreign Minister Chrystia Freeland says that the country will continue to stand for human rights, including women's rights and freedom of expression. The tweet that led to Canada's ambassador being sent home had to do with Samar Badawi, the sister of activist Raif Badawi. Now both of them are in prison in Saudi Arabia. Raif Badawi's wife is now a Canadian citizen. So this is a story that Canadians are very familiar with. In fact, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has been under pressure to sever military contracts with Saudi Arabia because of their human rights record. Interestingly, not clear how those contracts will be affected going forward because of the demand from Saudi Arabia that future business ties be cut. We know there will be an impact from this decision economically for Canada. Flights from Saudi Arabia into Toronto will stop on August 13th. Students that attend university here in Canada from Saudi Arabia have been called back home. The government will stop paying their tuition. That's estimated to be about 15,000 people. So that's millions of dollars in loss facing Canadian universities. But again, the Canadians say that this is the right thing to do and they're not going to change their position.
Well, Bill Laws, the director of Gulf Matters, which provides analysis and journalism from the Gulf states. He joins me now via Skype from Ontario. A very warm welcome, sir, to the programme. So what are the Saudis accusing Canada of by sending this tweet?
Well, basically, their view is that Canada is infringing on Saudi sovereignty, that it's showing a huge amount of disrespect to the Saudi judicial system, that in fact Canada has no right to raise any issues concerning human rights abuses in Saudi Arabia. This is very curious because Canada in the past, as has the United Kingdom, as has America, have frequently made criticisms of the Saudi human rights record, which is abysmal. So from the Saudi perspective, it's almost a lèse-majesté. How dare you criticize us? It's quite an extraordinary way in which it's unfolded very quickly in a very high-handed and peremptory manner. For me, it has all the markings of Mohammed bin Salman's rather brash and rather arrogant handling of pretty much all of Saudi Arabia's foreign affairs. He's not very skillful at this, and I think many Canadians, and indeed the Canadian government, are just perplexed at why this has erupted so quickly and in the manner in which the Saudis have really gone after the Canada. Think about 15,000 students being suddenly told to go home, and the point was made that they won't be able to fly in Saudi Airlines because the flight's been cancelled. This is all well over the top, in my opinion.
Bill, I think what makes it perhaps more curious is that the Saudi king is all about pushing this new agenda, at least outwardly anyway, of being more moderate and pushing that image for the country. So what do you think is the real reason behind what I think a lot of people are thinking is quite an extreme reaction?
Well, I think that the Saudis decided that they are getting fed up with being criticized constantly on the human rights front. They decided to go after Canada. I think they've made a mistake there. The Canadians we're very polite, we're very friendly, but we're also very determined. And on the issue of human rights, Canada has been absolutely crystal clear. They will continue to defend human rights issues. And the fact of the matter is that Samar Badawi is a sister-in-law of the wife of Raif Badawi, Ensaf Haidar. So she's a Canadian citizen. So Canada has a stake in this, and they have a stake in defending the human rights issues that are before them. I think that this is another mistake by you said King Salman. Honestly, I think it's Mohammed bin Salman who effectively runs the country. This is another mistake by him. After all, you think that he announced the war in Yemen. It was going to be finished in 3 weeks or 4 weeks. 4 years later, it's still going on. He launched this attack on Qatar, expecting it to be over in a few days. It's going on a year later. Qatar has adequately defended its sovereignty. The accusation that Canada, by making this tweet, is threatening Saudi sovereignty is risible. It really is. And also the fact that the Saudis are saying they will interfere in Canadian domestic affairs if the Canadians don't stop criticizing the human rights on the human rights issue. That too is laughable, and I think it makes Mohammed bin Salman and the Saudis look a bit of a fool on the international stage. They shouldn't have picked this fight. It's odd that they've chosen to do it now. Why they've done it, I think perhaps they thought they could send a message. They'd go after Canada, and then other countries perhaps would tone down their criticism. It's not going to happen.
Bill Law joining me there from Ontario. Bill, thank you.
Thank you.
Mexico.